Welcome to Speed and Nguyen's Deep Dive podcast. We're so glad you're joining us for another exploration into fascinating topics.
Great to be here.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into the recent film Warfare. It's co-directed by Alex Garland and former Navy SEAL Ray Mendoza.
That's right. Garland, we know from Ex Machina, Annihilation, Civil War.
Right, and this film, Warfare, it's stirred up a lot of discussion, even some, well, real controversy.
Definitely. You got people calling it maybe one of the most realistic combat films ever.
But then others see it as problematic, really problematic in how it portrays war.
Exactly. So we've gathered insights from quite a few places. Men's Journal, Rough Cut, Jacobin.
Yeah, a real mix. We want to unpack what makes Warfare hit so hard and, why the reactions are so strong and often really conflicting. All right, let's peel back the layers of Warfare's intense reception. What really lies at the heart of this passionate debate? What's the core issue we're jumping into?
Well, I think what's truly compelling about Warfare right from the start is just how it came about, its origin story. It's this unique collaboration between Alex Garland, who we just mentioned,
Yeah, with his track record.
and Ray Mendoza, a former Navy SEAL who, interestingly, was also the military advisor on Garland's Civil War.
Okay, so there's a prior connection. And that personal foundation, Mendoza's background, that's what anchors its claim to authenticity, isn't it?
It seems to be. The film is apparently based directly on Mendoza's own real-life experience, a pretty dangerous mission in Ramadi, Iraq, way back in November 2006.
Wow, okay. Real life.
Yeah. And the filmmakers, they apparently took this, what's been called a detective-like approach.
Detective-like. How so?
Well, piecing together fragments, memories from the people who were actually there.
Right.
There's even an opening title card that says something like, this film uses only their memories.
Only their memories. That's a strong statement. How does relying solely on their memories shape the narrative? Especially, given the controversy we mentioned.
Well, it's a really foundational choice, right?
Mhm.
It aims, I think, for what they probably see as a true testimony of combat.
Not a true testimony.
Yeah, and many sources describe it as an unsparing look at combat. It creates this almost, well, nauseating feeling of authenticity is a phrase that comes up.
Nauseating. Wow.
Critics have called it one of the most realistic and grueling combat films ever made. Some even say one of this year's best films.
So high praise, but intense praise.
Exactly. This reaction isn't just about showing violence. It suggests Warfare is doing something maybe fundamentally different.
No, so.
Sort of stripping away the cinematic comforts, the things we expect from war films. It forces this almost visceral engagement with the experience itself. It kind of begs the question, are we, as viewers, ready for war depicted without that usual heroic framing?
That sounds like a powerful, almost assaultive approach. And critics often point to the sound design, right, as central to that experience.
Oh, definitely. They describe it as ear-rattling.
Ear-rattling.
Yeah, with gunfire exploding with blunt ferocity and jets flying low, creating an unholy chorus of deafening sound. And, significantly, there's no traditional film score, no musical cues telling you how to feel, no real break from that sensory onslaught.
So no relief.
None. It feels designed maybe to be a gigantic question mark over the idea of combat itself, rather than just entertainment. It makes you almost flinch watching it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like it. It really drives home this idea that, okay, this isn't entertainment, not in the usual sense. It's an experience meant to provoke something.
Absolutely. And that reliance on this extreme verite style, especially the sound,
Right.
it isn't just about being loud.
Right.
By ditching the score and using these super specific directional sounds, it immerses you not just in the chaos, but in the psychological disorientation of it all.
Disorientation, yeah.
It uses pure sonic realism to take away those emotional handholds,
Yeah.
leaving you to just confront the raw sensory input without that artistic filter.
It's fascinating, though, how a film so committed, seemingly, to this unflinching realism can still ignite such intense controversy.
Right.
You see some critics calling it jingoist propaganda, while others are saying, no, that couldn't be further from the truth. How do we even start to reconcile those? Brutal authenticity versus jingoist propaganda. That's quite a gap.
It really is. And it raises this important question about how we interpret realism in movies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So from one angle, Warfare is seen as emphatically anti-war, like really anti-war.
Okay.
It's described as maybe the harshest possible rebuke to the sort of sanitized, almost sexy, heroic combat you see in big Hollywood movies, like, say, Top Gun, Maverick.
Ah, okay. A direct contrast.
And it focuses on the brutal and meaningless side of conflict. And it very deliberately avoids the bigger political context, things like WMDs, oil, the Bush administration. None of that's really there. The idea, proponents say, is that it simply presents these events as they were, truly horrifying, without taking sides, without offering easy answers.
Right, just the raw event. But then, on the other side of that coin, other critics find it deeply problematic because of those very choices, because of what's left out.
Exactly. The Jacobin Review, for instance, argues pretty strongly that even though it claims to be anti-war, it actually falls into this kind of phony anti-war film formula.
Phony anti-war, how?
They suggest it inadvertently makes war look like a thrilling trial by fire for young men to prove themselves.
Ah, okay. Glorification through trial.
Sort of. And they specifically point to the opening scene. Apparently the SEALs are watching an erotic music video. They call it the silliest of all the nobody here but us horny heterosexuals openings. A bit harsh, but...
Okay, so they're saying it relies on cliches that undercut the supposed anti-war message.
That seems to be the argument. And if we connect this to maybe a broader critique, Roughgut says the film suffers from a lack of perspective.
Lack of perspective, because it's just the soldiers' memories.
Pretty much. While it focuses intensely on the suffering of the U.S. soldiers, it depicts the Iraqis largely as, well, borderline inhuman, or faceless insurgents, or just obstacles.
Oof, that's a serious charge.
It is, and it raises this crucial question. By relying only on the memories of U.S. veterans, does the film inadvertently ask the audience to trust them over those of Iraqi civilians? Civilians who were, the victims of what's called a proven unnecessary war.
Right. So the narrow focus, aiming for authenticity from one side, might actually limit the overall truth it can tell.
Paradoxically, yeah. That seems to be the critique.
And RogerEbert.com kind of echoes that, saying, while it's viscerally impressive, you might be left wondering what the point is, other than the fact that it happened to someone.
Right. Like, is the what happened enough?
It's not just what's shown, but what's not shown, and how that absence shapes our understanding.
Precisely.
Okay, let's talk a bit about the film's structure and choices. You mentioned it's based on a specific incident.
Yeah, it's apparently quite compact, like 90, maybe 96 minutes long. And it focuses really intensely on this one single incident. A reconnaissance mission that goes terribly wrong.
Tight focus.
Very tight. And it uses a cast of mostly up-and-coming male actors. People like Will Poulter, DeFaro Wunotai, who actually plays Mendoza Charles Melton, Joseph Quinn, Cosmo Jarvis.
It's a solid young cast. But one of the most striking choices, apparently, is how the film deliberately avoids traditional character development.
Yeah, it shorns it away, as one critic put it. You don't get the usual backstories or catchphrases or those big melodramatic speeches about dreams or sweethearts back home.
That's bold, especially for a war film where you often expect to connect with specific soldiers. How does that affect things? How does that impact how you, the audience, engage or even sympathize?
Well, I think it's a very conscious effort to make you feel like you're just there, experiencing it alongside them, almost like a faux documentary.
Immersive, but maybe detached from individuals?
Perhaps. By stripping away those individual personalities, the film seems to be trying to universalize the experience of combat itself.
Right.
It's less about these specific guys and more about the raw, unfiltered reality they're facing. It pushes you to feel the disorientation, the sensory overload, rather than following a familiar character journey.
That commitment to the raw experience, it seems like it really culminates in the ending, which sounds like it sparks even more debate.
It does. While most of the film stays tightly focused on the SEAL's perspective, there's this brief coda right at the end.
A coda, like a concluding section.
Exactly. It stands a bit apart, and it shifts the focus quite dramatically.
How so? What makes it impactful?
Well, this brief section apparently shifts to the Iraqi family whose home was taken over by the soldiers during the mission.
Ah, okay. A sudden shift in perspective.
A huge shift. And it reportedly leaves the audience with this profound gut punch of desperation. It forces you to reevaluate everything you've just seen and ask, what was it all for?
Wow, that sounds powerful.
It's a really strong narrative choice, expanding the film's view right at the very, very end.
And one analysis we looked at puts it really compellingly. The ending flips the typical war movie script.
Flips the script.
Yeah. There's supposedly this powerful image of one of the SEALs, a character named Eric, just silently standing among the Iraqis. He's not fighting anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the interpretation is he's maybe coming to understand that maybe they were the invaders.
Oof.
It forces you right then and there to confront that deeply unsettling question, who really are the heroes in this whole situation? That final shift sounds like it leaves a lasting mark.
Absolutely. It complicates everything that came before it.
Okay, before we wrap up Warfare, just a quick detour. Speaking of new films generating buzz,
Yeah.
we saw a quick take, actually, over on TikTok about another upcoming film, Thunderbolts.
Ah, the Marvel one.
Yeah, the 2025 Marvel movie. One reviewer was saying it looks like it's bringing dark emotional storytelling back to the MCU. Just a little pop culture nod there. Something else to keep an eye on.
Interesting. Darker Marvel, maybe? We'll see.
We will. Okay, back to Warfare. So, we've taken this deep dive into a film that seems designed to be both overwhelming and numbing. Certainly a properly grueling experience, as some put it.
Grueling seems right.
We've explored why it's seen by some as this essential, unflinching anti-war statement showing the true cost in lives, morals, and sanity.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, why others see it as problematic, maybe even phony, a depiction that inadvertently glorifies combat precisely because it neglects crucial perspectives.
Yeah, the very nature of its realism, paradoxically, is what seems to fuel both the praise and the criticism.
Quite the bind.
It's clear that Warfare's impact, it goes beyond just being another movie. It's described as a gut punch of truth that really challenges viewers, pushes them to see war from multiple, often very conflicting viewpoints.
Right.
The varied, intense reactions really just highlight how complex it is to represent combat on screen, especially when you're trying to convey an experience that feels unfiltered.
Ultimately, Warfare seems to offer you, sitting there comfortably on your couch, a glimpse of a world you would be lucky never to see.
A sobering thought.
And it leaves you wrestling with that powerful question, what was it all for? A question that probably lingers long after the credits roll.
Definitely.
So as you reflect on this film, or maybe decide whether to watch it, it's worth considering how art can both illuminate reality and perhaps, sometimes unintentionally, obscure the full picture of human experience, especially in these moments of extreme conflict.
A lot to think about there.
Indeed. That's all for this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We hope you gained some new insights, maybe some new questions to ponder.
Until next time, keep digging deeper into the stories that shape our world.